Hello everyone, it's Stephanie from Impact 89 FM. We're here today with Quinn XCII for the Present show that is through Impact WDBM as well as ASMSU, RHA, and UAB. So welcome back to MSU.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's so good to be back here.
What is one of your craziest memories here from MSU?
One of my craziest, I would say my most memorable experiences here was going to Burger Rama on at the Rib. I feel like that's always just something I always think about when people ask me what my favorite moments were from state. Obviously, I met so many friends here, and I was in a fraternity, so I met a lot of people doing that and playing shows locally here. But Rama's my favorite thing. Today's Thursday actually, so I'm hoping I maybe have time to go there, but probably not.
So how did you transition from a college student to a traveling musician?
I transitioned from a student to a musician. Kind of very rough. I just sort of got out of college. I took a job in Detroit actually as an insurance agent, and then on the side was just putting out music still on SoundCloud and stuff, and just slowly figured out that it wasn't for me. Like working an office job wasn't for me, and I ended up taking my first tour while I was working still, and I ended up quitting my job and went on tour, and I never really looked back. So it wasn't I don't know. I feel like I learned a lot here as far as just being personable with people, and I got a degree in advertising. So while I didn't use my degree for what I'm doing now, I still feel like I learned how to be an adult in working environments. Because even though I'm doing music, it's still you need to be cordial and professional, and so I still carry that with me and stuff. But my transition to answer your question was very I'm still figuring out kind of. So yeah.
So some people have described your music as rapping. I saw you responded in a tweet. You were kind of surprised by that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So how would you describe your music?
I wouldn't describe it as rapping, although I rap a little bit. I used to rap. I did, funny enough, most of my rapping here at Michigan State, but no, I would say it's kind of an eclectic mix of a lot of genres, and it's very much like a hodgepodge of just random stuff. I call it melting pop. It's like a melting pot of all these different sounds and genres, so that's how I would describe it, yeah.
So you talked a little bit about how MSU has influenced your musical career.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play at house parties? Did you play at open mic nights? How did you get your start?
No, I didn't go to open mics. I probably should have, actually, looking back at it, but I didn't do open mic nights. I didn't perform at house parties. I did local, like I was saying, local gigs around here, so Max Bar and the Loft in Lansing I would perform at, but honestly, I didn't do much live stuff in Lansing aside from those couple instances. I just was putting out music on SoundCloud and these free platforms, and people here at Michigan State would share it with their friends and stuff. So I kind of got this little fan base bubbled in East Lansing, and then it slowly kind of got bigger and bigger because I feel like people would tell their friends from back home, and they would spread it, and it was a very word of mouth type thing. So I kind of got my start in just the internet and just putting out my music for free, and it kind of just took a life of its own from there. Yeah.
That's definitely really awesome to see that your life and your music just picks up like that. So what has been one of the best experiences with that, just seeing your music everywhere?
Yeah, I mean, the best reward from all this is just being able to do shows, live shows, and also just meet tons of people, whether it's fans or anybody really, and get to see how the music's impacted them, and just be you become more cultured, I think, because I'm able to travel a lot with music and just get to see the world and stuff, and just kind of break out of my little bubble. I grew up in Grosse Pointe, so I didn't really know much other than that growing up, so getting to do the things that I'm doing now because of music is very, very fulfilling to me, and yeah, just being to help people as much as possible, that's really the goal and stuff, and yeah.
All right, so you added Chelsea Cutler to your tour a couple times ago. How did you convince her as a college student to just drop it all and tour with you?
Yeah, it's a good question. She actually convinced herself that she wanted to drop out, and then she told her parents and stuff, but I was kind of around for that conversation. I think she just figured out she was talented enough where this could be a career for her, and yeah, and then she shortly afterwards came on tour with me and was doing her first shows, but yeah, I think her parents, I have to give a lot of credit to that because they were very much supportive of that, and yeah, but she's also, I mean, look, it's very brave, I think, for any, you're in college, you guys are, it's very brave, I think, to, just drop everything and go after something that, your school can't provide, and she did that, and I'm super proud of her, yeah.
So how did you get in contact with her to begin this whole process?
We actually chatted, going back to SoundCloud, we chatted via SoundCloud and the DMs of SoundCloud, and that's how we got to know each other. So AOK, who is a longtime friend of mine and also a producer and musician, he went to U of M, and so him and I were making music, and he discovered Chelsea somehow via SoundCloud, and they messaged each other, and then I eventually met her in person, like at a show a year later, and yeah, just like all these little chats online and stuff. It's weird, I know, but it worked out nicely. That's also how I met Jeremy Zucker, who's a friend of ours, and yeah, so it just like random messaging people randomly, and yeah, this kind of how relationships grew. So
That leads into my next question. You have collaborated with all the people you've listed before, as well as more recently with Elohim and a bunch of others. So how do you go about choosing the people that you collaborate with? Is there like a certain characteristic you looked for, or how do you decide that?
Yeah, I mean, I just think I'd be lying if I said I didn't. Good music is probably the main character. Like if they make good music, that's a big characteristic. But no, I just think if it's somebody who I feel is able to complement my sound and can fit with what I'm doing, and is reasonable to ask to work with, because obviously there's people I would love to work with, but they're just like light years ahead, and I'm kind of just being patient with people who I ask. But I feel like it's got to be the right timing and the right mix of sounds, like whether it's what I'm making or what them making. You got to just like make it cohesive in a way. So yeah, it's very random. Like sometimes I'll just shoot my shot with like someone way out of my league, so to speak, and it doesn't happen, but I'm still trying. So yeah.
So when you go about writing music, how do you get in the mindset to write all this music? What's your creative process?
So my creative process, I would say, is very random. It's very like sporadic, and inspiration, for example, for a song always hits at random points. Like I could be talking to you now and then get off like these steps and think of a song. Like it always strikes randomly. And so I think with that, like I kind of use the metaphor as just like capturing lightning in a bottle, and just once you have an idea, somehow noting it down. So I use my phone a lot for like voice memo, like that app, and just humming melodies or whatever. Or if it's like a lyric I think I'll just write it in my notes app and stuff. So I use my phone a lot, honestly, to like store ideas, and then from there I can like visit it later on and work on them. But yeah, it's just a very random process. It's never the same. Like sometimes I think of a melody, other times I think of a lyric. Just kind of depends how I'm feeling that day. Yeah.
Definitely plays into the melting pot of your music there.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. So I think there you go. Yeah, you're catching on. So I appreciate it. Yeah, we gotta let everybody else know. But yeah, it's very much representative of that term. So yeah.
And so you just got off tour with the From Michigan with Love. You've had an adventurous tour.
Yeah.
A little bit of the power going off to the footsie or footy
Yeah.
in Australia.
Yeah.
So if we were a fly on the wall during any of your tour dates, what would you be doing?
Like at a show or
Before, after, traveling, all of it.
Honestly, I like to, when I'm not on stage, it's funny, like I'm sort of just like a very, very heightened version of myself on stage. So off stage, I'm very like, I just try to relax, and I think on tour too, it's very easy to kind of get exhausted, like whether it's physically or mentally. For me, it's always both, I feel like. So I try and just like really kind of keep it easy off days, or before a show or after a show. Sometimes after a show we'll go out and like have drinks and stuff, but typically I'm just sort of chilling, and I like meditate sometimes, and like it's FaceTime my fiance, and like we do things that are like very normal, like what other people would do, but so it's basically a majority of just like chilling and just resting, but there's times where we definitely like to have fun and go out afterwards. So like tonight, for example, we'll probably go out because we're here, and certain circumstances call for drinks, so yeah, that's what we do.
Since you are in town, are you going to run into some friends that you've met at college?
Yeah, I think I have some friends coming up for the show tonight. My family's coming, my fiance. My sister actually goes here currently, so she'll be here with her friends. And yeah, it should be good. It should be like a nice nostalgic night. I don't think a lot of my friends live in other cities now, so I don't think everyone's flying in for this, but unless I'm surprised. But no, probably just this core group of people I have coming up from Detroit. They're driving, but yeah, I'm sure I'll see maybe some random people. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
What can we expect tonight? And do you have any more new music coming out or in the works?
Yeah. So I do have not to spoil anything, but I do have something around the corner of this year that I'm hoping to release, and I'm really excited about it. But tonight you can expect just high energy show. Just like a very passionate, like fun, energetic, positive show. I don't know. Yeah, it's like any other show. Yeah.
Will there be any older songs as well?
Yes. Yeah. I always like to mix in older songs. It's always important, I think, too, whenever you're like growing a fan base, like pleasing fans from like an older song standpoint, because these are people that have like hung around for like really long. So you don't want to always just play like the new stuff. It's cool to like give them throwbacks and all that stuff. So plus some of my favorite songs are some of the older stuff I've made. So definitely will mix some of those in. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending some time to talk to us.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me.